Before I ever set foot in Argentina, I had a vivid picture in my mind. I imagined myself in Buenos Aires, looking effortlessly suave in a crisp linen suit, gliding across a polished dance floor with the grace of a seasoned tango dancer, the city's nightlife sparkling all around me. I saw myself blending in, mysterious and cool, as if I'd always belonged there. And after my imaginary dance, I'd sit down at a bustling parrilla and devour a steak the size of a car, savoring every bite like a true local, washed down with a glass of Malbec. That fantasy, as you might guess, lasted about 5 minutes after I landed. My real trip was less about tango and more about dodging relentless city buses, sweating through my linen and butchering Spanish while trying to order a simple coffee at a crowded cafe. I quickly realized I was more lost than I'd ever been. The Argentina I actually found was wilder, stranger, and far more unpredictable. Sometimes it involved a llama silently judging me as I fumbled with a flat tire on a windswept Patagonian road, miles from anywhere. Forget the polished tourist traps and Instagrammable moments. Let's talk about the places where the Wi-Fi barely works, but the stories you collect are unforgettable. These are the places where you meet locals who invite you in for mate, and where every wrong turn becomes a new adventure. This is how I set out searching for one version of Argentina, and ended up discovering a completely different, far more confusing, and infinitely more interesting country than I ever expected. I packed a journal, fully expecting to fill it with deep revelations and profound insights about life and travel. Spoiler alert. My most profound thought ended up being whether it's socially acceptable to eat an entire jar of dulce de leche for dinner. And if so, how often? So no, this isn't a story of enlightenment or finding myself on a mountaintop. It's a story about embracing the hilarious, baffling, and sometimes absurd reality of travel when nothing goes as planned. It's about laughing at your own mistakes, making friends in unexpected places, and realizing that sometimes the best memories come from the moments you least expect. So if you think Argentina is just steak and tango, let me take you off the beaten path and show you the real deal. Welcome to the journey. Let's get lost together and maybe, just maybe, find something even better than what we imagined. My first stop was Purmamarca, a tiny town tucked away in Argentina's northwest, famous for the Hill of Seven Colors. It's the kind of place that feels like it's been plucked straight from a dream or maybe a painter's wildest imagination. I arrived expecting a faded hill, maybe a little underwhelming, but what I saw was pure magic. Like a unicorn had exploded and left its colors behind. Nature here isn't just showing off, it's practically bragging, layering pinks, greens, yellows, and purples in a way that makes you question if it's even real. The town itself is a vibrant maze, every corner packed with stalls overflowing with llama wool sweaters, ponchos, and rows of souvenirs that all start to look suspiciously identical after a while. It's a sensory overload of color and texture. I tried my best to blend in, to look like a seasoned traveler immune to tourist traps. But let's be honest, I still left with a fridge magnet, the universal badge of the tourist. For lunch, I dove into a steaming bowl of locro, a hearty stew that's basically a warm hug in food form. It's so rich and filling, you can feel your eyelids getting heavier with every bite. A dish clearly designed to put you into a blissful food coma. Suddenly, the whole concept of siesta culture made perfect sense. After a meal like that, how could anyone possibly stay awake? The town slows to a gentle hush, shops close, and everyone disappears for a midday nap. Sitting on a sun-warmed bench, gazing at those surreal hills, I realized Purmamarca is like a living Instagram filter. So picturesque it almost feels unreal, as if someone cranked up the saturation on the world. My life wasn't transformed in some dramatic way, but I walked away with a newfound respect for geological weirdness. These mountains are proof that the Earth has a playful side, and it's not afraid to show it. I left Purmamarca a little sunburnt, definitely full. and with a deeper appreciation for mountains that refuse to be boring or blend in with the crowd. Sometimes the best moments are the simplest ones. Just sitting quietly, soaking in the riot of colors as the sun sets, letting the landscape do all the talking. And maybe, just maybe, giving in and buying that second magnet. Because some places are just too colorful to remember with only one souvenir. Onward. Next up was Iruya, a village so remote you wonder if its founders were lost. The bus ride there is a white-knuckle adventure along a cliff. Iruya clings to the mountainside, its streets so steep even the dogs look athletic. My Spanish failed me. I relied on smiles and wild hand gestures. Life here is slow. Cloud watching, dog petting, and just being. Iruya didn't change my life, but it made me appreciate flat ground. Sometimes, the most beautiful places are the hardest to reach. And that's exactly the point. From the heights of Iruya, I went to the Salinas Grandes, a blinding white salt flat that stretches forever. It's beautiful, intimidating, and makes you feel like a tiny speck. The main activity? Cheesy perspective photos. I tried to look cool, but mostly looked like I was having a desert meltdown. Staring at the endless white, I didn't have a spiritual epiphany, just wondered where the nearest bathroom was. The emptiness sticks with you. It's a blank slate, both literally and metaphorically. No answers, just salt, sun, and sky. Sometimes, that's enough. The Salinas Grandes didn't solve my problems, but it did bleach them out for a while. Onward to the next adventure. After days of traveling through dusty roads and sun-baked plains, I found myself longing for something different. Something cool, refreshing, and alive with possibility. That's when I set my sights on the Esteros del Iberá wetlands, a sprawling, watery paradise tucked away in the heart of Argentina. The moment I arrived, the air felt different, thick with humidity, buzzing with life, and shimmering with the promise of adventure. Imagine the Everglades, but swap out the alligators for herds of capybaras, those gentle, oversized rodents that seem to glide through the water with effortless grace. Everywhere I looked, capybaras lounged by the water's edge, their calm presence setting the tone for the entire landscape. Capybaras are like the Zen masters of the animal kingdom. They're the world's largest rodents, but you'd never guess it from their laid-back attitude. Watching them, you get the sense that they've unlocked the secret to a stress-free life. Unbothered, unhurried, and completely at peace with their surroundings. I spent nearly 10 minutes just watching one capybara stare off into the distance, lost in thought. In that quiet moment, I felt a strange but powerful connection, like we were both just two souls taking a break from the chaos of the world. Of course, my wildlife adventure wasn't exactly a nature documentary. It was more like a comedy of errors. Me swatting away relentless mosquitoes, stumbling through muddy banks, and nearly dropping my phone in panic when a caiman silently glided past just a few feet away. It was humbling, hilarious, and a little bit wild. Out here, the animals clearly ran the show. I was just a visitor in their world, trying to keep up and not make too much of a fool of myself. The wetlands didn't hand me any grand revelations or life-changing epiphanies, but what they did offer was something just as valuable, a fresh perspective, a reminder of how small my worries really are in the grand scheme of things. Standing there, surrounded by endless water and sky, I realized the world is full of wild places that exist completely outside of our daily dramas. These places don't care about your deadlines, your emails, or your to-do lists. And capybaras? They're the ultimate role models for relaxation. Watching them, I couldn't help but think that maybe we could all use a little more capybara energy in our lives. More calm, more patience, more time to just be. There's something contagious about their tranquility. Even the other travelers seemed to slow down, smiling and soaking in the peaceful atmosphere. I found myself meditating by the water, hoping to absorb just a fraction of that capybara calm. Sometimes the best lesson nature can teach us is to simply relax and float, let go of control, trust the current, and enjoy the ride, just like the capybaras do. Out here, nature always wins, every time. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Just as I thought I understood Argentina, I found La Cumbrecita, a Bavarian village in the hills. Timber-framed houses, apple strudel, and menus with bratwurst. My brain short-circuited. Was I in Argentina or Germany? Even the Spanish had a German accent. The village is car-free, so you earn your strudel by hiking uphill. It's a perfect European bubble in South America. Culture is weird and wonderful. It travels, adapts, and surprises you. Argentina isn't a monolith. It's a patchwork of stories. And sometimes those stories come with sauerkraut. Let's talk food. I came for steak, but empanadas became my true love. Until I overdid it and needed a break. There's more to Argentine food: knockout locro stew, plate-sized milanesa, and dulce de leche on everything. I bought a jar of dulce de leche, promising moderation. It didn't last the night. My culinary journey was a lesson in excess, not restraint. Sometimes the best meals are the ones you can't pronounce. Food is a window into a culture's soul, and Argentina's is meaty, sweet, and shaped like an empanada. I left heavier, but with better stories. The best souvenirs are the ones you eat, and sometimes regret, but mostly eat. Empanadas, I'll miss you. Until next time. The language barrier was real. My high school Spanish was useless for bus schedules and menus. I became a master of charades, ordering food with animal noises, asking directions with interpretive dance. Locals were patient, often amused, and always helpful. I learned you don't need perfect words to connect, just effort and a willingness to look silly. Communication is about vulnerability and laughter. I didn't leave fluent, but I left fluent in pointing, smiling, and hoping for the best. Sometimes that's all you need, and that's a kind of fluency too. Did Argentina change my life? Not really. I came back the same, just with more mosquito bites and a bigger appetite. The transformation wasn't dramatic. It was subtle, a collection of new stories and memories. Argentina isn't just steak and tango, it's contradictions, color, and chaos. It taught me to appreciate the weird and unexpected. Getting lost is often the best way to find something interesting. The best travel stories are the ones where things go wrong. I'm still me, but now I know the secret to life. Be more like a capybara. Just chill. That's a pretty good souvenir. Thanks, Argentina. Until the next adventure.